them, and then they are in the service, so I just follow. So many times you find parents want their children to become servants. For what reason? Just for a blessing, because he comes with us or she comes with us, and this is the custom, just to go with it. I was in Sunday school as a child, and I grew, and then I joined in pre-servants, and I'm a servant in Sunday school today without even thinking about it. Just like this is the habit. It's exactly like everyone being in school, graduating, finding a job, and then marrying, and then thinking about it later, if I did the right thing or not. So these are some of the reasons. Other reasons is the love of the world and its vanities. I have this kind of divided heart because, yes, I serve God, but I still love the world. And I love its vanities. And I love the entertainment of the world. I'm not saying every entertainment in the world is wrong. This is what I'm saying. But I love even what is sinful about it. As we are going to talk about this manifestation of duality, I have both loves in my heart. And I wonder sometimes when people say that, oh, you cannot serve God and money, and in my heart, no, I can. I can. I love both. And I can be good with both. Another reason also, the heart that is in the lift. What do I mean by this? There is a verse in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Say, a wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. What does it mean? I might be doing something outwardly, but my heart is in a different place. In a different place. Maybe I give you another form of it so you understand it. Maybe in my home, I am a husband, a good husband. I serve my family, I look after them. But outside my home, my heart is with another woman. So my heart is on the left, in the wrong place. But outwardly, I lead a life that's okay. It looks good. It can be also with the service. My heart is on the left, is in the wrong place. My desire, my fantasy, my thinking is all about this. But outwardly, I have something else. This is something again. This is again a reason of duality. My heart is in the wrong place. Another reason also is the wrong convictions. Like what? The wrong conviction, this is a very famous Egyptian parable. An hour for your heart and another for your God. ساعة لقلبك, you know this, أولاد مش كده? ساعة لقلبك وساعة لربك. So as if like the hour for my heart is not the hour for my God. The hour for my heart is where I am enjoying myself. I am truly myself. This is an hour or a time. But at the same time, I am convicted. I can also have an hour for God. I go on Sunday and then I do Him whatever He's expecting me to do. So this is another, it's a conviction. People believe that I can live like this. I can have both and I am good in both of them. Other reasons. The self-deception of trying to combine light and darkness in the same place. Many people believe that I can have both in my heart. There is place in it for this, another place for the opposite. God, when He is asking us, He's asking for the whole heart. A divided heart has no value for God. But I still can believe that I can do both. I can be the good person in the church, and I can be outside the person who is like others. And I believe I can do both with excellence. And what is wrong with it? As far as I am in the church, and I'm preparing a lesson, and I'm standing before people and addressing them. So I'm doing what the church is expecting me to do. I believe that this is okay. Sometimes also other reasons like serving as a favor. أنا يعني بعمل جميل في الكنيسة. يعني كتر خيره. كلمة كتر خيره دي, I don't know if you can translate this. Like, oh, it is good that I am doing this. Is it? Or better than nothing. Better than أحسن من ما فيش. زي يعني in the people Old Testament used to bring with them some kind of sacrifices to the temple. So in their way, they find people selling like sheep and lambs, and they ask, how much is this? And they tell them the price. It's expensive. And they say, do you have something that's cheaper? And the person who is selling say, yeah, I have a lamb with a broken leg, or with like one eye, or blind. It's cheaper. The person will buy it. and go inside the temple and try to offer it, thinking it's better than nothing. How did God respond to this? What did God say about this? In the book of Malachi, say, when you offer the blind as a sacrifice, is it not evil? God considered this as what? Not better than nothing. It is what? Nothing is better than it. This is evil. Why? Because it's insulting. You are offering something to me. Is this my value for you? So when we think that my service, whatever I'm doing, is better than nothing, maybe actually nothing is better if I am not serious about it. Or change will come later without identifying when later will ever happen. It's later. خليه بس يبتدي كده وبعدين في الآخر بعدين يبقى تصلح. هنصلح إمتى? Or this famous verse that's abused whenever you tell you are not leading a life of truly a person who is repenting. Then say, St. Paul said, I gave you milk to drink, not solid food. أعطيتكم لبنا لا طعاما يعني للبالغين. For how long? If we are servants, we will always be on milk. Even after 10, 15, 20 years, we are speaking about to be fed milk. When will ever happen that we start take solid food? But this idea about it's okay, I'm in the phase of I'm just drinking milk after a year and a year and a year and a year and a year, without any plan that this will come one day to some kind of stop. So in my mind, when I am living a dual life, I'm saying I am in the milk phase. It's okay. One day, nobody knows when, eventually, I'm going to go into the hard stuff and I do things as it should be. Another reason of duality also is serving while rejecting the yoke of Christ. Meaning, I want to serve, but without any kind of burden. Don't burden me with this. This is too much. If the servant will say it is too much, who is going to bear the work? If you are the one who is accepting the yoke, saying, I cannot take the yoke, who will take it then? So this is again idea that I can serve, but at my convenience. I can serve without any burden. If this is something that will come in my way, then I'm not going to do it. And I'm okay with it. كتر خيري. أحسن من ما فيش. أحسن من العيال قاعدة في الشارع. هو يا إما أقعد في الشارع يا إما I serve with a divided heart. If these are the two options, maybe not. Let us go into the manifestations. We spoke about reasons of duality that we make us to live with a divided heart in the service. And let's go into the manifestations. But what are these or manifestations? Number one, values, interests, and desires are all carnal, secular. What is truly in my heart is all like this, self-centered, offended by the cross. When someone say that you have to leave something and come, say, oh, this is too much. You are making this so difficult for the servants. What do you mean so difficult for the servant? I remember something, and Abuna Bulus remember this because we had this together. We were in the final year in the medical school. And we have pre-servants on Friday, and our exam next day was in internal medicine. And the service at that time, pre-servants was 3 hours, from 6 to 9 p.m. And we have to attend the liturgy in the morning. So we went to the coordinator. At that time, Abuna Mikhail Atiyeh, yani may the Lord repose his pure soul. He was a servant at that time, Dr. Magdi. And we told him we are not coming tonight. I said, why? He said, tomorrow we have final exam. It's internal medicine, and you know how hard we need to study. And then he asked us, what should I say to the people you are teaching? And we told him, I tell them they have exam tomorrow. I say, what does it mean? It means that you did not plan enough to take the time of these kids in consideration. So should I say this? Should I say that you do not trust that God can help you if you do your part? Should I tell them that God will come in the spare time when you have extra time for them? Of course, we didn't have answer, me or Abuna Bulus, what we're going to say. He told us something. He said, like, come, and it is on me. As if he was taking the responsibility. تعالوا وعلى مسؤوليتي. My responsibility. And I don't know why, but we felt compelled that we have to go. And we spent the 3 hours in pre-service on Friday night before the final exam in internal medicine. 3 hours, and the day was gone, sure enough. And what happened next day? Everything went okay. Nothing happened. But the idea, again, when we told him about this, he did not say, Ma'alish, I understand. Tomorrow you have an exam. You are excused. No. You are a servant. You are taking on yourself a yoke. After martyrs, you should be the first line. But if you come and say, oh, you know what? This is not really me. The cross for me is something that I get offended at. When people are speaking about, you have to be fasting. It's a great fast. If you do not fast, who will fast? If you do not come to the church early, who will do it then? What are we going to tell the kids that we are teaching them? So number one, manifestation of duality. My values, my interests, my desires are all outside of the church. They are all carnal and secular. Another manifestation is a lot of talks and debates in the service about fasting, prayers, and Bible readings, while the inner room is desolate. What is the inner room? The place you practice these. You find people over the internet and social media killing each other about how the fast should start, who started it from the beginning, why we have 55 days, and why we have an extra week. All of these debates back and forth. But at the end, how many people are truly fasting? From the servants. This is something, again, we talk a lot and we teach kids, but in reality, what do we do? This is something, again, tells if I am truly living my heart and my life dedicated for Christ, or I am just using this as a way, a style, but in reality, it is not me. Your inner room will tell you if you are sincere about your service or not. Your inner room at your home, when you close the door behind yourself, what this room shows or sees, does it show your prostration, praying for your kids? Does it show this your again abstinence and all the struggle with the fast? Or this room is desolate? I have nothing to do with this. It's all take place here in the church when we keep talking and debating and arguing. Many people now are defending the faith over social media, but in reality, nothing. Many talks. And people use the fathers. This father said this and this. What about you, about your home, about your struggle in order to lead a life of godliness? The third manifestation of patching, spiritual practices with no change of heart. People of Israel in old, they came to God one time and asked him, this is in Isaiah 58. They said, we fasted. Why you didn't watch? Why you didn't notice that we are fasting for you? And God said, in fact, in the day of your fast, you find pleasure and exploit all your laborers. You are just changing what you are eating, but in reality, there is no change in life. So the spiritual practice, the practice happens, but the change in heart, something else. Another manifestation is confessing a sin with no intention to change course. I'll give you an example. People sometimes go to Abuna and say, Abuna, I'm sorry, I'm not tithing well. I usually ask the person when he comes and confess something like this, say, okay, are you going to tithe well after the confession? The answer usually is no. So this is not repentance. This is not a confession. I'm just sharing something, but I'm not intending to change. So what do you mean by this? I confess as if telling Abuna like a story. But I do not understand that confession means or carries the meaning that I will struggle to the best of my ability to do this. If it is within my control 100%, I will do it. I will fix it. طبعا confession is something that many people, they do not practice it well. Sometimes people come and sit in front of Abuna and cuss at other people and say, I'm confessing. No, you're not confessing. You're sinning. The big difference between confessing, that means I am regretting a sin, versus I am actively sinning in front of the priest. And I'm assuming that because I am sinning in front of him, then this is a confession. This is not a confession. This is maybe something, I'm sure Abuna and Abuna maybe will talk about it. Confession, unfortunately, many people sit with Abuna, very few people truly confess. But it's another manifestation of patching. I'm just sitting in front of Abuna, but I'm not confessing. Another manifestation also, confessing Christ as Lord in hymns and in denying him in words and behavior outside of the church. as Christ was quoting this again from the Old Testament. These people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. We stand in the church and praise Christ as Lord, and we glorify his name by the hymn that we sing. But outside, maybe people look at it, at what we do, and say, well, if you are confessing Christ as Lord, how can you lead a life like this? I'm going to talk again about weakness, because we are all weak, we are all sinners. But there's a big difference between sinning out of weakness and sinning as a lifestyle with no sense of remorse. Another manifestation is carelessness about others, being offended at the servant's behavior. It's something I don't care much about. You remember this, maybe a couple of years, the diocese requested that the servants will sign some kind of like acknowledgement that these kind of behaviors are not fitting to be practiced by a servant. Many people struggle as signing this. And I'm telling the servant in the church, what do you mean I do not want to sign this? When you work in your workplace, in any organization, and they request you to sign on something like the agreement between you and the people you are working for, can you say, I cannot sign it, I do not like to sign it, I don't like the terms? If you don't like the terms, what do? You don't work, right? You are not working in something private here. You are working to present Christ as the church dictates. But unfortunately, find people say, I'm not going to sign this. Why? What's the problem? If the church is saying this and this, even if you don't like it, you put yourself under the yoke of the service. I'm going to do it because this is, again, I am volunteering to help the church in its mission. You might express your opinion, understood. I have reservation, understood. But at the end of the day, if you are going to carry the mission of being a servant of the church, you serve on the church's terms. You do not serve on your own terms. What about people who are going to be offended? It's their problem. When they see you as a servant dancing or drinking or doing something like this, it is their problem. What do you mean their problem? What do you mean about this? St. Paul said, if eating meat will make someone to be offended, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. Anything wrong with eating meat? No. Why am I not going to eat? Because I'm not here to offend people. I am here to serve their salvation. I care much about those people that I'm going to stand before them and talk. Even in my heart, if I'm not convinced, I have no other option or a choice except to abide by what the church is telling me. The only thing I can do out of respect to myself when I say I don't agree is that I withdraw from the service. I'm sorry, Abuna, I cannot serve with these terms. So I'm out. So much to be respected when a servant will choose like this. But I will serve on my own terms, something that's unfathomable. Another manifestation of bashing is spirituality in a carnal way. You know Simon the sorcerer? You read about this man in Acts chapter 8. He was a sorcerer. He earned his money by impressing people with his sorcery. And he became Christian. He became Christian, but his heart is the heart of a sorcerer also. Simon al-Sahr. How we understand this? He came when he found that the apostles, when they lay hands, people receive the Holy Spirit and speak in tongues. Oh, this is impressive. So he went to St. Peter and said, can I buy this? Can I give you money and you give me the talent? So while he was a Christian, his heart is still of a sorcerer. This is a manifestation of bashing, not a genuine change. I still want to make money by impressing people with extraordinary ability. Or another way, in a mockery way. A mockery way mean like, look at this picture. What's this picture here? A girl is doing what? Texting. Where? The church. This is now, this kind of insult to God is becoming so common to the point that people even do not think as something that's wrong. Are we here to worship him or to insult him? Just a simple question. Can you do this in front of your manager? He is talking to you about something in your work, and you are texting or looking at your Facebook. Can you do this? No, you can't. Can you do this in your school while your professor or teacher or instructor is addressing you? No, you can't. What you cannot do it before a secular or a worldly manager. How can we dare to do this in front of God? Forgive me, my brethren, to speak in this kind of harsh words, but I do not want any of us to come to the church and carry sin rather than being justified. I go out from the church thinking that I worshipped, while in essence I insulted the owner of the church. And I went out thinking, I took communion today. Yes, you did. Did you take the blessing of it? It would depend how much honor and respect you paid to the sacraments. This is spirituality in a mockery way. People coming from outside, imagine a person, or like considering Orthodoxy, stepping aside the church, walking between us, and seeing people on their phones, looking at their Facebooks. One time I saw this person going to the communion room and he and another person taking selfie. What does it mean? Why? Why do this? But anyhow, this is another manifestation of I'm just patching life. Another manifestation is looking for the minimal requirements and shortcuts. When can I come exactly in the liturgy and I take communion? Does it count if I'm coming during a bonus sermon? I did not attend the gospel, but can I really take communion? This is what I'm looking for, shortcuts. What is the minimum I can fast? How can I get an absolution from a bone? This is the mindset, not of a new life in Christ. This is a mindset of a person still living an old life, but I am patching the new life with things from here and there. The minimal requirements does not apply or work in anything we do. Who wants to just pass and do his job as like in a mediocre way? Who wants to do this? No one. We want to excel in whatever we are doing. But sadly, again, when it comes to this kind of spirituality, what is the minimum that can get me to get by? Another manifestation also is rituals with no understanding, appreciation, or spiritual purpose. The Pharisee was praying in the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. He was praying, so he is practicing something good. But while praying, he was bragging, comparing himself with other people outside. Even to the person praying with him, looking, I am not like him. Sometimes we have this. I am practicing something spiritual, but meanwhile, I am doing it not truly with understanding that the essence of worship is mercy. I come to the church with this sense of, I appreciate God's mercy who allowed me to be in. And if I feel likewise, how can I judge anyone around me? People are in need like me. And when I go outside, I also apply what I received. I give people from the same mercy I was treated with. These are also manifestations, the Mardi Gras, Las Vegas vacation phenomenon. What do I mean by this? You know what is the Mardi Gras? What is it? Yeah. When do they do it? What is the day? Fat Tuesday. Why it's Fat Tuesday? Before what? Before Ash Wednesday. Right. So the phenomenon is what? عارفين الرفاع؟ احنا الرفاع بتاعنا بنعمل ايه؟ بنقعد ناكل. خلاص بكره زي ما يكون الاكل هو اللي هيقعد معانا يعني. Will live with us for the coming 2 months. Okay. In the church, يعني in a Catholic church, it used to be a refa' where I do every kind of sin, because tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. Not only about eating whatever I wish, no, being indulged in something that's totally like sinful, drinking and fornication. Tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. Do you think this is a fast? By the way, it ended up what? It became an occasion by itself, a celebration, something that people make money out of it. But it's a phenomenon. What the phenomenon says, tomorrow I am fasting, so today I can do every kind of sin because tomorrow I'm going to abstain. If I do this, I'm not really changing in heart. If you noticed the Pauline epistle today, speaking about what? Perfecting holiness. Perfecting holiness means what? My pursuit every day during the year is for holiness. But when the great fast will come, I will try even to go more and try with the grace of God to perfect holiness. So I am moving from status of struggling for holiness to more severe or austere practices in order to acquire holiness. It's not that today let me sin because tomorrow I'm fasting. This is a phenomenon that says my heart is not in this. I'm just moving according to the season. The other phenomenon is the Las Vegas vacation. I call it Las Vegas vacation. What Las Vegas actually, the vacation come to our mind, what it relates to? Gambling, yeah. I'm not saying every person in Las Vegas is gambling, but I say sometimes, say, I am in a vacation, so I am on a vacation from everything that is godly. Sadly, the spring break comes during the Great Fast. Sometimes I give myself the excuse, I will not fast during this week, as if fasting is something like a hat. I can put it on and off as I wish. Is it fasting? Am I really truly fasting? And if I'm on a vacation, I can